Evaluation in Education and Evaluation of Processes. Podcast.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to this podcast. And we are going to talk about educational assessments. And we are going to make it easy. My name is Michell Solís, and I'm super excited to be here. We want that you know that assessment is not like a monster. So now we are here to explain more and to make you know that assessment can be fun and very useful in our lives. And in this space, we are going to explore why it's important to understand the learning process and those kind of things. And I'm not alone here. I with my guests, and so let's start with our participation, discussing about assessments.
We are gonna introduce ourselves first. So my name is Melanie Lopez. Good morning, good evening, and
Right, my name is Karin Sánchez, and I'm very happy to be here with you, right?
And I am Lizardy Rodriguez, and I hope that this will be useful for you.
Yes, and to make this journey clear and entertaining, we are going to explore a different part of our guide study. So let's start with our questions.
okay.
Okay.
I got a question. Why do you think some students feel anxious or afraid when they hear the word assessment?
Sometimes they think that is something bad, but it helps you to know or to improve what things are you doing correct or not. This is not to sacrifice or something like that. It's just to push you to go ahead, learn more, trying to practice, study, or whatever.
I think that the students don't know the the meaning of the assessment or the difference about the evaluating, measuring, or grading. So that is the reason for the students feel anxious.
Yes.
And when the students hear the word, okay, guys, today I will
Close your books. I'm going to give you a test.
they in their minds um say, okay, it's a grade for 0 to 10. So I think that there is for that reason.
Yeah,
that
that's a
feel
confusion.
yes.
That's a confusion that the student has about assessment. And so, what is the difference between assessment and evaluation?
Okay,
The difference in between an assessment and evaluation is that assessment is focused in the process, like focusing the process of learning, identify the strengths or in what topic are failing, like learning process. And the other one that is evaluation is focused in the final results exactly for it.
Oh, okay. Well, if we talk about evaluation, what it is exactly try to extend is that the contribution of an evaluation is to evaluate the quality of education we are having. Let's remember that it is something that is really systematic because it's not only about the students and the teacher; it's about the whole world of education, since the institution, the education administrator that
Yes.
we were mentioning before, and also everything like even the country where you live and where you study, that's part of an evaluation because let's remember that it is something that depends largely on how it is, for example, implemented during an scholar year, for example, and in an educational community, as I just mentioned. Something that it is also important is to remember that in an institution we have teachers, authorities, administratives, for example, the principal, and all of these things are very, very important in our educational process, because these people evaluate as well, how is the student learning. It's the whole process, like
Yes.
in
It's a process.
in the classroom is everything, because
Yes.
all the time,
All the time.
The time you're monitoring.
Yes.
The student is learning, is noticing, is paying attention.
Yes.
And something that we will mention later is something about the attitude.
Yeah.
Yes, the
If they are motivated or not.
Yeah.
That kind of things are really important, because that's something that the educational evaluation involves. It also contributes on the quality of the education we are having in our
period.
Okay, it's not only an extent of of for example an external mechanism of judgment. It's not only judgment.
Yeah.
It's everything. It's the process, and how the process gave us an outcome, a result of what we have done in our classes. Okay, what it is, what the evaluation basically wants is to improve. It tries to inspire a change in our classes and in our country, because let's remember that education is very important for the society, and it's very everything depends on the society.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you help you understand? Oh, that's now beyond assignment grades. How do you believe educational assessment can transform the learning experience for both students and teachers?
That was yours.
Yeah. Okay. I think that it's not just to give grades. It's all about help students and teachers. Uh, Assignments or assessments are like a tool that help students and teachers. Students, because this, if we had a bad grade, we can improve, we can make different change, and we can get new grades. And as a professor or teachers, we can change that method or strategies or whatever that we are doing during the process, during the learning process. So we can check activities in order to have a good results in our period of our studies.
Okay, you mentioned something about grades. I'm curious about the difference between measuring, evaluating, and grading. What's the difference of those words?
Okay, the difference, no, not the same, but I said before that the grade or the answers for the students, but the difference are the evaluating is the process, and is subjective of the professor. When the professor asks you, for example, what's your name, and do you know where is the, okay, the, like you said before, the evaluating is all the time in the classroom, right? And the measuring is more um the the points, for example, the points of the class, and that, and the grading is the result of that measuring. So that is the difference. So when I say the student feel anxious, and here they evaluating or one evaluation, maybe they think that there is so bad or bad, sorry, or something like that, right?
Right.
Okay, so well, I'm curious about what are the functions of evaluation.
The functions.
Well, the principal functions of evaluation is to know what is the level of knowledge of every student. For example, in the case of we are evaluating students, but when we are evaluating teachers, as a teachers, we have to know when we have to apply some method, for example, in other class, and specific when and how and stuff. We have to be prepared to do a class to engage the students for paying attention, because sometimes the students are not
And
just
not
motivated,
comfortable
not
by
motivated.
the
Uh-huh.
teachers and the
Mhm.
students.
We have to have made all that.
Oh yes, that's
They
Yes.
find a motivation in us. That is
Uh-huh.
very
The
important.
motivation is very important.
It
And
can change.
that's when comes into a scene the part of the learning styles, right?
Yes.
Because we have to notice if our student is a visual learner
Or
auditive,
modeling or
yes,
Yes.
yeah.
or kinesthetic, yes.
Yes,
That's when we
they're very
apply the
different.
modeling exact.
So
Okay.
important, right?
Okay, now that we're talking about this, I think it is very important to talk about the process of evaluating. In essence, why would it be important to assess both the student and the teacher?
Well, I think that this important both because not just is the evaluating for the students, just the teacher too, because the teachers maybe can improve the methods or something like that, right? In the classroom, the what things can change because in the classroom sometimes have a special thing. For example, one students, right? And yes, it for me is both important.
And also as a teacher, you have to wonder, what am I doing? If I'm doing right or if I'm doing something wrong, if I can change or make some changes to improve the knowledge of our students. That is very important to make an active evaluation, right? Yeah. It's very
Yes,
important.
the evaluation is
You see that
yes,
in,
there is a
according to the
work.
movement, when about the language movement, if the students are boring or if they're
Yes.
if you, for example, you ask something and they ask in an easily way, they are ready to answer.
Yeah, that's a part of evaluation because in the class we
Yes.
also evaluate the attitude that
Yeah.
we are having as teachers and our students are having too.
Yes.
And yeah, you're right. Auto-evaluation it's
Very
key.
important.
Very
It's the key.
But
Yeah.
also co-evaluation and peer evaluation with the
Yes.
students,
So,
that's also very important because
It's like when
it's part of the
yeah,
communication.
because you have the confidence to ask your partner, oh, what am I doing? How
you
I'm
feel the
doing
confidence to teach
my
also.
exposition. Can you tell me if I did it wrong? You ask that.
Yes, and it also encourages you to be more fluent because you make questions
Yes.
Yes.
and you interact with the well with the concepts and the terms that we are learning in classes. Not only with language, but it could also apply with other kind of signatures.
And the
Yes.
students maybe can see that you know the topic.
Uh-huh.
So
So it is good. It is very
yes.
helpful. The
Yes,
peer
it's
evaluation. Now,
The next question.
and the next question we have is, how do you check your student is not just memorize definitions, but actually understand the key concepts of the
For
topic?
example, when I asking about something, for example, what is important to wash your hands before you give before you eat, and they ask you in their own words, you notice that
Yes.
if they understand the concept of the lesson that we are giving as a teachers. Another example will be how you can divide, for example, a pizza. How you can divide, you can ask in that way in order that they get the intention of the content.
Mm,
The
okay, so
student know.
what you mean to say is that in this part, memorizing it's not really key, but also understanding the process.
Yes.
Yes.
And when we ask questions to these
Yes.
students, the way they answer, it's key for us to know how meaningful was
Yes.
their learning. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
good.
You not
Yes.
only use the concepts, if not you do it in real life. How you can, that's when we say that is you can use it in your life. It's very, the learning can be useful in your daily life.
Yes. And can the evaluation of the procedure in learning generally develop autonomy and critical thinking in their students, maybe?
Okay. Yes, it can. As you just said, when we talk about conceptualization, something important is the procedural process in learning, because when we make our students to interact with the knowledge, well, before we do this, before we introduce a new information to them, we sometimes make a diagnostic, so we can know what is the student already know and what it needs to know, or what do we have to reinforce, or
What are the
make
gaps they
feedback on.
need to
Feedback.
need of feedback?
To know what are their gaps in knowledge, so we can just fix it
Yes.
on that. And for that, okay, to create a critical thinking on them, something important is a part of
Evaluation.
conceptualization.
Oh.
That let's remember that the evaluation is contextualized, continue, and formative. Okay, let's remember that it is continue because we always in the whole class evaluate. Formative because we make feedback. The word feedback is something that we do in our
observe.
we
Yes.
observed. That's part of the diagnosis, right? And contextually, because we know according to the diagnosis, we can know what are the kinds of things they need to learn, or
They need to improve.
they need to improve. And also we can know, for example, what are the kind of things that we can do to connect with the student and create some motivation, so the student will be happy during the class, or at least a little bit engaged.
Or boring.
So yeah.
An effective learning.
Yes.
To create an effective learning and make teaching a little more easier.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And fun, because it's not always to do things like
to be something stressful or tiring. It must be something really interesting for the student. Because let's remember these kind of neuroscientific facts.
yes.
Okay.
Why is assessed in the evaluation? What is assessed in the evaluation of attitudinal learning outcomes? Well, attitudes, values, and behaviors are assessed in this kind of evaluation because it's important when we have to evaluate the disposition for the students when we are working in pay groups, pay works, or working groups. We have to see if they are motivated or not motivated, if they are really working, or they are just waiting for someone else or just do the work, the homework. So in this way, we could see if we have to put more attention in some students when they are just not motivated, or they are just distracting the other students. So if we see a students like he's not talking with ¿cómo se dice? How you say, with good information when they are working, we can see that they're just not learning. So we have to work more in this case. Yes.
Yes, we go on.
And we have the obligation to motivate the student. They're just not. So
Motivation. Okay.
Yes.
As a conclusion, well, what can we say about conceptualization, procedural, and attitude?
What can we say?
Can we say
Yes.
about conceptualization, learning, procedural learning, and attitudinal learning?
Procedural is when the process, I think,
the process of learning.
Yes, it's the
Yes.
process.
Uh-huh.
And the attitude is like
It's the way we act with our partners, according to the students, how they act if they work in groups, how is their attitude if they can collaborate,
They
if
are
they can
showing
participate.
confidence too.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
also
the
work on the
students
confidence.
are comfortable with their partners, with the class.
Yeah.
Is I think that it's important to know to how to identify when one student is not it's shy is shy
Yes.
and it's not like he doesn't want to work, it's just like he's shy and he's scared of or it's like
So he doesn't know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to identify very good.
Character needs
Oh,
for special
Kids.
special no
No,
special kids,
Regular
special
kids.
students with different learning styles.
yeah, that's when we diagnose that's what
Yes.
several because we make a diagnose of what is the best way that a student.
Yes. The strategies, maybe change the strategy.
Yeah, we have to adapt them,
Adapt.
not to change them,
Yes.
but adapt them.
Adapt.
So our class will be more dynamic,
Interactive, dynamic.
dynamic, and very attractive. The information must be very attractive for the student. And yeah, so let's remember the learning styles are visual,
Visual, like you.
auditive, and yes.
You said before.
Okay, also one thing about this is that all of these learning part of the learning evaluation is that we can also make our students to have a critical thinking, and well, as teachers we can make them questions about the topics right after we know what are the gaps that they need to be filled.
Yes.
So this is all for today. I think it was a nice conversation about the topic, educational assessments, and
This
oh
topic.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and hope you enjoy it. So
Yes.
see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.